just kids hoping to make a break out of Liverpool, and it turned into something much more important, really.
Tonight on 48 Hours.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A special edition, Paul McCartney on tour.
Well, he was just 17. You know what I mean.
John just said, I'm leaving the group. And our jaws just fell.
Behind the scenes with a musical legend.
The worst question I really feared was they'd say, Paul, are you happy? And I go,
Backstage.
and then he just came up to me and said, I'm going to buy your songs, you know? And I went, yeah, great. It was really tough, folks. You're Paul McCartney.
Offstage.
In fact, one evening I entertained Jesus. It was very nice, actually.
I got to see him. I mean, I want it.
On stage.
I feel like an Olympic champion who got a gold medal. I got a gold with the Beatles, you know. So I'm not going to kind of say, no, I didn't, or I hate them for getting me a gold. I love them.
Paul McCartney. To millions of Americans, he'll always be just Paul, as in John, Paul, George, and Ringo. At 47, the former Beatle would seem to have it all. Fabulous wealth, a 20-year marriage, a musical legacy that helped shape a generation. But with John Lennon murdered and George Harrison and Ringo Starr branching out into movies and TV, McCartney is back on tour in the United States for the first time in 13 years. What's Paul McCartney's message to his fans and to himself? Come along with us to Chicago, where 48 Hours was given extraordinary access to the music, the man, the memories.
Chicago!
As far as the bodyguards are concerned, it is not only rock and roll.
We're going to be the lead car.
It's much more serious than that.
I'm supposed to go to 435 North Michigan.
They know, as we all do now, what can happen to the rich and famous, especially if only yesterday you were one of the Beatles.
Call for my kids, please. They love you.
Paul McCartney is back.
You're a lot bigger in real life.
I'm bigger.
Yeah.
I'm huge, man.
He's on the road again with a new band.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
That includes his wife, Linda.
I thought we were in Germany, but it turns out we're not.
Wir sind in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Mein Schatzi.
I saw a man dance with his wife.
So they have the time of their life.
The Beatles are the #1 recording group of all time.
Look at that playing.
Yeah.
Only Elvis had more top 40 hits.
Oh, Harry,
Great, man.
But McCartney hasn't had a #1 song in 6 years. And the cold fact is, a lot of the pop world wrote him off.
Is there a tape cassette recorder in here? Probably just up there. Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But he's got a new album out now, and the critics like it.
And now the build-up before the gig begins. The press conference first, and then the gig itself.
They've already played a few cities in Europe, and they've begun a cross-country U.S. tour to promote the new album. And if things work out, to re-establish Paul McCartney as a major force in pop music for the 1990s.
Big Mac truck. Big Mac truck. Here we are, guys. Tense up.
There it is. There it goes.
McCartney's new release, Flowers in the Dirt, has already gone gold.
Excuse me, sir.
500,000 sales.
Thank you. Thank you. It's closed, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
And they're hoping the tour will push it to platinum. 1 million albums.
Take my cassette and go. So what's the gig?
Besides all the traveling and all the concerts, there's also the media.
What does it feel like to know that you've been, such an enormous...
Did you come into Chicago and go out and run around the city a little bit?
Which you're expected to do if you're trying to get back to the top.
You're starting the next leg of the tour off in Detroit, a place that started to stamp out the Beatles campaign and a Paul is dead rumor. Do you ever feel like the city has it out for you?
Nah, not really. I mean, we never believed all that stuff. It's like Paul is dead as well. There was another rumor, I didn't believe that one.
The record isn't the only thing McCartney is pushing. Celebrity has also given him a forum.
Oh, this is Dave McBride from Q101.
Hi, Dave. Nice to meet you.
For his message.
I, like a lot of other people, want to see a lot of the pollution stopped. I want to see this hole in the ozone layer stopped so I can go back sunbathing. We want to live in a clean world, yo.
Take it easy, group. Behave yourselves, no jumping on seats, okay?
Is there something you haven't heard that you're wondering, why hasn't anybody asked me that?
There's little areas that I know and that I know people don't kind of know about. Well, the trouble is, I end up sounding like I'm trying to justify myself, which I don't like. But there's a bit of a feeling about that kind of John was really the sort of only avant-garde one in the Beatles.
But you know, in a way, let me be blunt, time has been better to him in some ways than you, and I don't want to be cold about this, but John is dead. With death comes a certain amount of sympathy.
Well, exactly, that's the thing, and that's really the danger. And I think, you know, John would be the first person to not say he was the only guy in the Beatles or he was the major talent. I never ever heard him suggest that to anyone.
Well, it's been...
But as you say, you know, when a person dies, they tend to get martyred.
Does it bother you?
I've seen one or two things that have kind of said, you know, John was the Beatles, and these other guys just backed him up. That bothers me, because it's just not true. Most of the, certainly all the stuff I sing tonight, John didn't really have much of a hand in. I pretty much got to leave that for people to find out. You know, if I start coming on heavy and trying to say, hey, you know, I was just as important as John was, it's very unseemly.
With death, in some cases, comes martyrdom.
Comes a sort of eulogy, yeah, which is good. I mean, you know, why not? You know, he was a great guy. As he said himself, if there's such a thing as a genius, I am one.
Does it surprise you, the power of the legend today?
Well, welcome all. Welcome all.
Yeah, I mean, it does surprise me because, you know, really we were just kids hoping to make a break out of Liverpool, and it turned into something much more important, really. What doesn't surprise me is the fact that it's kind of lasted, because John and I put in a lot of work, man, on those songs. I mean, we were really, really keen to emulate the songwriters that we loved. I mean, I was out to become like another Cole Porter. Still am, babe.